Hey everyone, this is Chad from Frozen Soul, and you're listening to Top's Metal Official Argentina on YouTube. So how Frozen Soul was started is basically me and Michael. We met through a comic shop that I worked at. After that, we just got together and started messing with music. We both loved metal and met some friends and just kept going. Our bass player Samantha was actually there as well in the beginning at the shop. So she was playing him in Magic the Gathering. I was playing him in Magic the Gathering, and it just went from, playing games and stuff to like wanting to write music. We got an iteration of Frozen Soul together back in the day. Didn't quite work out. That was fine. We ended up getting In Times, our other band, back together. In writing our LP for that record, we ended up writing some stuff that was like a little too heavy, and then we decided to get Frozen Soul back together again, and then we wrote Encased in Ice. So the rest is history. So the process for Crypt of Ice in writing terms lasted probably a good year. We started writing it pretty much as soon as we put out the Encased in Ice demo, and basically, wrote half of it with just me and Michael, and then later on we brought in Chris and probably wrapped up the second half of the record right before we recorded it last March. So it was a wild experience, but we ended up hammering it out and getting exactly what we wanted. The album cover it basically represents all of the pain and the torture that people have caused others, and taking those people that have done those unspeakable things and trapping them in a lake of frozen water, leaving them to freeze and think about all the things that they've done and all the pain that they've caused others. There's a loose concept based around the album, and it has to do with an entity called the Wraith of Death. And this lake, that hole on our album cover, that big dark hole, is basically its mouth, and it's being fed these people. So this the album cover is very on point with the point of our music. Those were filmed back last June, and they were filmed by and sort of directed and all that by Brendan McGowan, who did Ghost and Imperial Triumphant videos. He drove down here from New York in the heat of the pandemic, and we knocked him out because we had to, and it took 2 days to do both the videos, so we knocked him out pretty quick. Our biggest musical influences are definitely Bolt Thrower. As you can probably tell, I love Bolt Thrower. Michael loves Bolt Thrower. We all love Bolt Thrower. And, Bolt Thrower left a hole in our heart, and just personally touched me as a band that no other band has ever really been able to touch other than Metallica. They just do something that's just magical to me. So, aside from them, Obituary, Mortician, we wouldn't chug the way we chug without Mortician, and so many others, Sentence, Shadows from the Past, Metallica, you name it. If it sounds like us, it's probably influenced us. Really, it's all up in the air. Everyone comes up with their own ideas, whether it's a chug riff from the mouth or, somebody just strumming on a guitar by themselves. We all come up with ideas based on the stuff we like and whatever influences us at that moment. And then we get together and we flesh it out and we just beat it down until we love it, pretty much. what it's like to work with Century Media. It's awesome. I mean, they've helped us beyond, you know, anything I could have ever imagined, or we could have imagined as a band. They've done a lot for us. They've put us out there, let us do our own thing creatively. They've really been there for us, and they pushed us better than, you know, we could have pushed ourselves. And it's been truly awesome. Can't wait to see what the future holds working with. None of our members have any like official training or anything like that. Works at Guitar Center, and he's played guitar for a lot longer than anyone else has played instruments in the band. But other than that, like, nobody's really been, you know, trained. We just have all picked it up and learned, especially me. I've never even been a vocalist before, you know, this band. So it's been a learning experience, to say the least. Not really personally. I mean, you know, with previous bands, there's definitely been like tours that have sucked, you know, sleeping on floors and houses with a bunch of other people, and it's like 100 degrees, roach motels and stuff like that. But like bar breakdowns, all that. But like with this band, like surprisingly, all the tours have been insanely good. We have literally not had to worry about anything. We made enough money to put ourselves in hotels, to eat, to get to the next city, and to come home with enough money to buy more merch designs and keep the ball rolling. So, you know, it's been awesome, and we are super fortunate as a band to have gotten and been able to get the opportunities that we have. It's been truly amazing. So I kind of already touched a little bit on like the lyrics to, you know, the songs on Crypt of Ice. But if you bare bones it, they are about people in this band's experiences with others, traumas, of family members and friends. You know, it's a soundtrack of retribution. So there's a lot of vengeance out of this record, and I think it delivers on that. So what's next for us? I mean, when the world opens back up, we're just going to be touring constantly. You know, we're working on the new record right now. 3 days a week we write. You know, we're working on more music videos and our Wrecking Ball live stream. We're going to continue doing that. So, you know, we're just trying to stay busy because the world is, you know, at a standstill, and numbers are dropping, and things do seem like they're getting better. But, you know, for the time being, like, no shows. You know, we're just going to keep putting out content, you know, keep engaging people, and, you know, hopefully, you know, next step is world takeover, baby. So the advice I would give a newer band starting out is, you know, I wish, you know, I would have had somebody like to tell me this stuff when I was younger, because there's so many times that I like gave up, that I could have done better and I could have like worked harder, but I just didn't feel like I had it in me. I listened too much to what other people told me when I said things like, I'm going to be in a band, you know. I didn't know anything about touring. I didn't know anything about record labels. I didn't know anything about writing music, you know. I just knew that I wanted it really bad, and I really liked it. And I wish, you know, I would have never taken a step back from it, because I'm 34 now, and I've got a lot of years behind me of music to get to this point right now. And, you know, I wish I would have worked harder when I was younger to get here faster. Who knows if that would have happened, but I guess my advice would be, do what you love. Don't let other people influence you negatively, no matter what. If what you're doing is not hurting anyone, if what you're doing is not hurting yourself, if you love what you are doing and you're happy, that's the most important thing. So if you want to beat around on drums while your dad yells at you, and tells you you're not going to be anything, well, just beat the drums that much harder, because it'll be worth it in the future if you keep going and you keep working. Once you start understanding your hard work and you start seeing some sort of result, whether it's you start seeing music come together, you see an album cover, you see album art, you see a t-shirt design, you put a shirt out and you see somebody wear it, all those little things stack up, and they all feel amazing, and they're all it's a reward that you just words can't explain. So try hard, keep working, have fun, love what you're doing. Don't listen to all the haters. Just keep doing what you love no matter what. And I promise it'll work out for you. My last words, I guess, would just be to everyone in general to just stay safe, be smart. We don't really need to be playing shows right now. They're going to come back, and they'll probably come back sooner rather than later. But for right now, let's focus on being healthy and being kind and helping people and helping ourselves, and, working together to, make sure everybody's safe, because, it's dangerous out there right now, and it's definitely times of uncertainty, and, we've really got to work together. And if we don't, then, it's just not good. It's not good for anybody. So, just stay safe, and stay healthy, and, everybody, I hope you, have a good day.